Hello internet friends, my name is Catherine and I'm the human behind creation Miss Couture. And today is Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to everyone, and friendly reminder that this day is not only to celebrate romantic love, it can be to celebrate all kind of love, and I hope you have a wonderful day if you celebrate. So today will be all about pink, purples, and blues because those are the colors that are very inspiring to me on this beautiful day of love. So without further ado, let's get into this. Okay, so happy Valentine's Day, first of all. So in honor of today's celebration, we're going to do something fun inspired by Valentine's Day. So lots of pinks, purples, I don't know. We're just going to go into the drawers and see what we want to work with. I do like a plum dandy, but maybe I haven't really worked with flamingo pink, so I think I'm gonna go with flamingo pink. Maybe amethyst. Yeah, we'll go with that as well. Now in our colder colors. What color? I don't use that often. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with delphinium blue because it's a blue, but it also has like a gray purple color to it. I think we're going to go with those three. Now the question is, should I make stock solutions and play with that, or should I just play with the dry powder? If I will be working only with dry powder, I'll be using my mask. What do I want to do? What should I do? I think I'm going to work with dry powder today to make things a little different. So I'm going to okay, so I grabbed those tiny spoons. I think it's called the stiffer, colander. I don't know what it's called. And my miniature. So I'll see you in a pen. So since I will be working with 4 skeins of yarn, so it's going to be 400 grams. I've put roughly a tablespoon of citric acid in my pan here. And since I will be working with dry powder, I will do a high immersion technique instead of what I usually do with my lower immersions. So I'm adding 9 cups? I'm adding 9 cups of tap water to the pan. So currently it would be more closer to a medium immersion, I feel. I'm going to be adding my skeins of yarn in this right now and see what I'm working with. So this is blue-faced Leicester BFL, 100% BFL. It's from Laxton. I did an unboxing video about them a while back. It was in 2024, so. And it smells very sheepy. I like it. It's not for everybody, that's for sure. Yoopie-doo. Okay, so I will probably add a little bit more water, that's for sure. Yeah, I'll be adding more water. Maybe not. So we're still in the low immersion territory, that's for sure. But I feel like if I'm adding more water, You know what? I will not be adding 9 cups, that's for sure. But maybe 3 cups. Or 2 cups. I will just be adding 2 cups of tap water. Yeah, that's a little bit better now. Yeah, so now we have a total of 11 cups of tap water in the pan. I think it will be a little bit more helpful to spread the colors since we're only using dry powders. So I will be putting gloves and I will be putting a respirator as well. So I will be sounding much more muffled. So I'm starting with my delphinium because it's a blue, and usually blues spread more. It looks very purple though. But you can see that the color is breaking, so you can see the pink as well in the color. So this is very interesting to me. Okay, that's interesting. So that's a fun exercise to do for that reason, because you can see that so you can see that the color breaks and that's very interesting. I really like that. So that's a fun exercise. Okay, continue, carry on. So right now, I'm not touching the dry powder at all, but we will play with it in just a moment. I just want to add some dry powder. Okay. So the second one I just added was the flamingo pink. And now I'm adding the amethyst color. And this one we'll just do on the tops and bottom of the pan. I didn't even use my little kitchen thing. And now that you can observe that, okay. And now we can observe that the delphinium blue powder is splitting, which is very interesting, especially when it comes to speckling. If you're actually going to be speckling and you want to create that effect, delphinium blue would be super perfect for that. So I will be touching my dry powders right now. Oh, that's very pretty. And we might be able to keep some speckle effect. Okay. What nice colors. I like that. So interesting. Oh, wow. Oh, and you can see here. I don't know if I can zoom in, but I wonder if we're going to be able to keep those tiny speckles. Oh, I like what it looks like so far. And I already turned on the heat. Oh, and here you can almost see some gray. Interesting. Super fascinating. That's something I've noticed, is that like purples, before the color actually strikes on the yarn, often turns gray. So it's very interesting to observe that phenomenon. Okay, so we are going to let this cook for about 15 to 20 minutes so the color can start striking, and we are going to flip the skeins in about 15 to 20 minutes. So see you then. All right. Okay, so it has pretty much all struck the yarn. So I'll be able to go ahead, flip this. For once I'm wearing gloves. Okay, let's do this. And you can see that we have a pretty good color penetration for this, probably because it's BFL and it takes a little bit longer for the color to completely strike. So it probably helps. And those skeins are super long, it's crazy. Okay, so the sides didn't receive as much color as the middle, so we'll work with that. Okay, we have some really cute colors here already. I'll go ahead and put my mask on, and I will self-muffle and we'll color this side. So we're going to be adding the delphinium blue first. And I don't think I will be adding as much as I did on the first side, because we have a good color penetration that I'm happy with. Flamingo pink. I'm adding a tiny bit more on the spaces that I feel are a little bit more bare. But I will not be adding that much of the amethyst, because I don't need to add that much of it. Oops. Now I don't have a choice but to add a little bit more on here. Okay. I think that's going to be very pretty. Okay. Alright, so I just removed my ventilator because I don't really need it now, since all the dry powder is now in liquid form. We are going to be leaving this on the heat for half an hour. We will come back, make sure that all the color has struck the yarn. Oh, well, it has struck pretty fast on this side, probably because the yarn is quite warm already. How interesting. So delphinium blue has struck completely. Huh, how interesting. Flamingo pink as well. The amethyst on this side also, but this side has the bigger burner, so there's probably more heat on this. And here it's already starting to strike. Huh. Fun. Okay, so in the sides, it's completely normal to have those little pocket of dye in the pan because those are the coldest spot that you will have on the pan, since the smaller burner is here, the bigger one is here. So there's more heat in the general over here. So if you have a convection element or stuff like that, it might help to diffuse the heat more evenly through the entire pan. And if you have gas, it definitely will help with that. Or if you have an actual oven, or I know that some bigger dyers have it's a proofing cabinet used in baking. So this will help distribute the heat more evenly through the entire pan. But I don't have that, so I'm showing what I work with. All right, so we'll let it cook for half an hour and we'll come back to turn off the heat, let it cool, wash, spin dryer, let it dry, and we'll see the final result at the end. So see you in maybe a half an hour or when I wash the yarn. So we've seen a little bit of pink in the dye bath, and it's totally normal because some pinks just bleed all the time. So I'm thinking it was the amethyst that was bleeding a little bit more because we had it on the top and bottom part of the pan. So I'm thinking that it's probably the amethyst that was bleeding a little bit more. So So it's the third time we're filling the water, and it's much better than it was. There's less pink in the water, but it's something that you need to think when you're dyeing colors with pink dyes in it. They will most likely either bleed or there will be some residue, like a tint in the dye bath. So it's nothing to worry too much about it, because every time that we're doing this rinse thing, it's less and less colored. So we know that we're getting the excess out. But once it's in your house, depending on the pH of the tap water you have at home, depending on the soap you're using to do your project with, there might be still some bleeding. It's part of the game. Here's the final result for the BFL sock weight yarn that we've dyed for Valentine's Day. We were wondering if we were going to keep some of the speckles on the blue portion, and we kind of have some speckles left over, which I'm very happy with because I like a good speckle. Even on this side, we kind of have some speckles that are left, which is nice. And look at how the colors complement each other so nicely. So this, if you were going to knit socks, would create mini strips of color, so it would be very cute. Micro stripe, yeah, that would be considered micro stripe. Whew, that was hard. Sorry about that. So it would be very pretty, and you can see a little bit better the speckles I'm mentioning. Isn't it pretty? I love it. I love a good pink and a good purple moment. And I have all of it. And you can see that in the transition between colors, it goes much more pastel, which is part of the beauty of hand-dyed yarn and all of that. So, and here you can see that we had a little bit more resist in the skein when we were dyeing it. So it creates this little pocket of very much more subtle colors. So it might be something that you don't like, it might be something you like. It's just part of the things that you need to know, that might be aware, especially when you have skeins that are much longer than what you're usually working with. That's what's important to know, is how that will affect the final result on your yarn. In my case, it left spots that don't have the same amount of dye as others because there was more resist in the skeins at the end of the day. But it's still nice. It's part of the hand dye process, and I like it, and that's what matters. And I'm sure that there will be someone who will like that as well. As long as you're transparent in your listing, if you're selling it, that's all that matters. So with that, if you've liked the video, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And I will see you in my next one very soon. Bye!